Namaste. Today we will be practicing Pawanmuktasana series 2, and this practice is the practice of massaging the abdominal area, which encourages improved digestion. The focus of this practice and in improving the overall digestive system, the benefit of it is that it reduces unwanted gases that are forming inside of the body. This practice is also beneficial for the circulation system, the respiratory system, varicose veins, and also for those with acid reflux and other common gastric problems. It's also good for people who have concerns surrounding their sexual organs. In this practice, there should never be any straining or tension, and if you do feel any discomfort, always back away from it and come back into a resting posture that feels good for your body. The practice of these yoga poses will keep disorders inside of the human body at bay, and it encourages a supply of good oxygen into the blood flow, clearing away blockages. Students who should not practice this are those who suffer from high blood pressure, hypertension, sciatic nerve damage, slipped discs, and anything in relation to back injuries. Okay, so we are going to start the practice in Shavasana. So come lie down onto your mat. And just arrive on your mat and start to breathe, with more of a rhythmic, oceanic flow. Make any little adjustments that you need to, just to get yourself settled and comfortable and prepared. On the next inhale, we're going to bring the right leg up 90 degrees. The left leg, we're going to keep it active and flexed, and keep the knee down, pressed against the mat. For the right leg, we also want to keep this one straight and active, but if you're feeling tension in the lower back, or if there's any pressure that is starting to build up, you can bend your knee just to back away from that. We're going to hold this here for 10 seconds. Breathing in and out, keeping the hands just relaxed at your sides. On the next exhale, we can lower that leg back down to the mat. And on the next inhale, we'll raise the left leg to the sky 90 degrees. Again, keeping the right leg active and pressed down towards the mat. Keeping the left leg active, pressed to the sky. Feel your lower back pressing against the mat. You can already start to feel the hamstrings working. Just holding this for a few more rounds of breath. And on your next exhale, return it to the floor. You can just reset here for a breath or two. And then on the next inhale, we'll raise both legs together to the sky. Make sure the lower back and hips are grounded. Make sure your shoulders are grounded. Keep the knees straight. You can already start to feel the stretching in the back line of the legs. Can also feel the pressure of the hips onto the ground. And then on your next exhale, we can lower the legs back to the mat and just reset in Shavasana. Now we'll start by bringing the right leg up into the chest. You can give it a little bit of a squeeze and just to help lengthen out that lower leg. Relax your hands back down to the floor, and here we'll lift the left leg off of the mat by 10 centimeters. And now we're going to cycle the legs out as if you're riding a bicycle, and we're going to do this for 15 rounds. Can start to feel the core engaging, feel the muscles tightening and contracting with each cycle of the legs. When you've done 15, the legs can gently come back down onto the mat. We're going to do another round of cycling. This time let's just bring the left leg into the chest, give it a little squeeze, lengthen out through the back line, through the spine. Lift the right leg off the ground. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to cycle 15 rounds. If you're hearing any pops and clicks within the body, like I am right now, it's totally natural. As long as I'm not feeling any pain, as long as there's no pinching feelings or feeling of discomfort, it's absolutely fine. Can already start to feel the heat generating in the abdominal area. Also just concentrate on trying to match the breath with the cycles. Once you've done 15 cycles, we can return the legs back down onto the mat, and now that we've built up a little bit of heat in the abdomen, let's just take a few extra rounds of breath here in Shavasana just to allow the heart rate to normalize for a moment. Okay, now we can raise the right knee into the chest. I'm just going to give this a pull for about 10 seconds. Just feel the lengthening of the calf, the hamstring, keeping that left leg active, keeping the right foot active and flex towards the face. Feel with the breath the expansion and contraction of the abdominals. And on the next exhale, let's swap legs. So right leg down, left leg into chest. I'll give that one a good squeeze. Right leg active on the floor with toes flexed, pointing to the sky. Knee down onto the mat, hips level and on the mat. Left knee bent and left foot active and flexed. Can bring the legs down to the floor, and now we'll bring both knees into the chest, wrapping your arms over the shins to give yourself a squeeze, and we're going to lift the head, neck and shoulders off the mat, keeping the hips and the back pressed down onto the mat. This is really nice because you can almost feel like it's a little bit of a massage feeling that you get in the internal organs. And we're just going to hold this for 15 seconds. Breathing in and out. And then release it down to the floor. Just let yourself catch your breath for a round or two, and we'll come back up into that pose. And we're going to hold it for a little bit longer this second time around. So again, knees into the chest, wrapping the arms around the shins, lifting the head, neck and shoulders off of the floor. Okay, keep your feet active. Again, feel that like heat that is starting to generate inside of yourself. It's also a really nice way to keep the spine strong and active. Can almost feel the back strengthening while holding this. On your next exhale, you can start to relax down a little bit, but keep your legs into your chest. Don't put them down onto the ground just yet. We're going to start to build up a little bit of momentum, and we're going to rock and roll ourselves along the length of the mat on the spine. And we're going to do about 10 rock and rolls. So just give your hips a little lift, and then you can use the momentum to rock yourself forward. It's a really nice way to massage out the back, but it also keeps the core engaged and active and strengthens the core. And when you've done 10, you can gently come to a stop on your back. And now we're going to counter that by rocking and rolling side to side. And we're going to do 10 rounds of side to side rocking. So it's really nice because it massages out the lower back. Try to keep your side to side rocks in time with your breathing. Once you've done that, we can come to a gentle stop on the mat and release the legs down to the floor in Shavasana. You can also just catch your breath here for a moment. From Shavasana, on the next inhale, we're going to place our hands quite firmly on top of the left and right thigh. And we're going to then contract our core to pull our head, neck and shoulders up. So you're doing a little bit of a crunch position here. While the head, neck and shoulders are raised, we're also going to lift our legs off the mat. It's almost like a low boat pose. We're going to hold this for 3 rounds of breath. Can relax back down. Whew. I am really feeling the heat in my abdomen. I can feel that my core is tightening and strengthening. We're going to do this again, so hands are firmly onto the thighs. Bring the head, neck and shoulders up and then lift the feet. Try to keep the forehead in line with the level of the toes out in front of you. Keeping everything as engaged and active as possible. I am really struggling here. And then come back down. We'll do one last round of low boats. Hands to thighs, lift head, neck and shoulder, raise the toes. You can really feel everything tighten and strengthen in this pose. My abdominals, my calves, my back, my shoulders, my neck. On your next exhale, you can come back down into Shavasana. We have really worked our core line now. So we can start to counter with doing twists. Whew. I'm building up a big heat inside of myself now. Okay, so we are going to start with supine bent knees. Just bend your knees up, flatten the back to the mat, lengthen out the tailbone. Also bring your feet to the outer edge of your mat. Make your feet really wide. Can extend your arms out to the sides in line with your shoulders in a T position. And then on the next breath, we are going to bend, or we're going to allow our legs to flop to the right. keeping both of the shoulders firmly down onto the mat. Don't let them lift. And if you've got some extra space, or if you just want to apply a little bit more pressure to the left leg, maybe it's sitting a bit high, and maybe you're not feeling that full stretch in the left hand side of your body, you can use your right foot to hook on top of the left knee and just pulls that knee down. It gives you that really nice extra feeling of lengthening through the side body. And we'll just stay here for a few rounds of breath. If you have extra space in your shoulders and in your body, you can also twist your head to the left. To come out of this, let's place the right foot back down onto the mat, and we'll just swing the legs back into the center. And from the center, we'll drop our legs down to the left. Again, we can hook this left foot on top of the right knee to give that extra feeling of a stretch. And look over your right shoulder this time around. So you're stretching, pardon me, so that you're stretching all the way from the crown of the head. The stretch and twist is happening throughout the whole length of the body. On the next breath, we'll put our left foot back down onto the floor and swing the legs up to center. Now, if we can bring our knees into the chest, keeping the hands stretched outward in the T position as it was previously, just bent knees into the chest, and we're going to just do a little hop with our lower back, and we're going to shift our hips and pelvis to the left. And that just gives us space to now allow the knees and feet to flop down to the right hand side. So knees are pointing right, hips and pelvis are pointing left, and we're going to also take our gaze left. You want to try to keep the knees in line, so make any adjustments that you need to just to stack yourself correctly. So knees are on top of each other, hips are on top of each other, shoulders are in line with one another, looking over the left shoulder, sorry. Again, you can really feel a deep stretch in the back line. You can bring the body back into the center, or just roll yourself back to the middle. And we're going to repeat this now to the other side. So give your hips and pelvis a little boost upwards and bump them over to the right hand side, while allowing the knees and feet to fall to the left. Again, just make any adjustments that you need to get your body properly aligned. And once you feel like you've stacked yourself correctly, you can then take the gaze over your right shoulder. So gaze and hips are pointing right, while the knees and feet are pointing left. From this position, we'll roll ourselves back into the center, keeping the knees and the hips raised above the body, or tucked into the body. We're just going to give ourselves a little squeeze here. You can keep this is not an active hug, we'll just keep the shoulders and head down onto the mat, wrapping the arms over the shins. If you have a little bit extra space in your body, you can even do crossing your arms, grabbing the outer blades of the feet and just give them a little bit of a pull into the chest. If you don't have space for that, that's fine. You can even just put one hand on each knee, wherever is feeling the most comfortable for your back. We've done a lot of work with stretching out the back line, so this is now the time to start to let everything let go and relax. We're just going to hold this for a couple minutes. On the next exhale, we can bring our feet down to the floor. And then lay both the legs down onto the mat. And we're going to come into our Shavasana now. You can make any adjustments that you need to, so adjust your clothes, adjust your hips, adjust the sit bones if they need to be, relaxing your shoulders, arms, and the back of the hands onto the mat. Starting to just let everything settle. Feeling the weight of your body on your mat. If your eyes aren't closed, you can close them. Start to deepen the inhales and exhales. Relax your neck. Relax the facial muscles. Soften the jaw. Let your tongue fall to the bottom of your mouth. Unclench any tension that is in your mouth. Even feel your teeth relaxing. Just imagine they're relaxing. circle the brow line. I know that I often hold tension in my forehead. And so with my next exhale, I'm just going to let go of that tension too. On the next breath, we're going to come into fetal position on the right hand or the right side of the body. Bring the left hand down onto the floor in front of the chest. You can make a little bit of a pillow for your head with your right arm if that feels comfortable. It feels comfortable in my body, but you can also keep the arm extended upwards or forwards, wherever feels the most calming. On the next inhale, we'll use the left arm to push your body up and away from the mat, coming into a seated pose and on your mat. You can rub the hands together, just build up a little bit of heat in them. And then cover the eyes, absorb that heat that you've just built up. Let it emanate into or through like the eyeball sockets. Bring your hands down onto the face. Give yourself a little hug, so opposite hands to opposite shoulders. And then we can just release all of that energy and tension that have been built up in the thighs and the quads, the hamstrings, the calves, the abdominals, back line. Just let everything pour out of you. You can blink your eyes open at this point if your eyes are still closed. Bring the hands to the center of the chest. Namaste.